Hello there everybody, my name is Boomer Brown, and this is Stellaris, the latest 4X offering from Paradox Studios, which is taking YouTube gaming by storm at the moment, and rightly so. I meant to upload a video on this earlier this morning, recording it last night, but in setting up I accidentally lost something like 4.5 hours to the game. So that'll kind of give you an idea of how much I am kind of enjoying this. I'm not huge on strategy games, but when I start to get into them, I can really get into them. And this one is absolutely incredible. It is breathtakingly beautiful. And yeah, lest I gush anymore, let's get in here and start setting up our game. Okay, so basically we can choose to play as humans. It's about 200 years from now, where on Earth the United Nations have basically become the main government because of some dispute or settlement. There are other scenarios that you could play as with humans. Commonwealth of Man, which is basically where the planet Earth developed some sort of wormhole travel systems and sent out a number of colony ships that promptly disappeared, thought to be destroyed by alien forces. One survived and colonized the planet, and they have decided to come back and basically take over the entire galaxy, which is kind of the end game of this thing, is to basically conquer the galaxy and rule it in whatever way you see fit. And by ruling it in whatever way you see fit, I mean whatever way you see fit. There are everything from military dictatorships to science directorates there, something along the lines of maybe Vulcans or something like this. Obviously, we can play as a lot of different alien types. There are, I think, mammals, and anyway, we're going to get in and we're going to create our own. See some very interesting people there, and interesting species. So we're going to create our own little species for this. We're going to create the Browns, strangely enough. So we're going to create a new empire. Okay, so our appearance. This is where we're going to see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of, and obviously a lot of different character models in that. So reptilians. I was thinking of going for mammalian, but some of these, I mean, that does look quite good. A little bit goofy, a bit happy. I don't know, I'm kind of looking for someone a little bit somber or something, I don't know. Someone that would look like an emperor. Something like Anthony Hopkins in that Marvel movie would be kind of nice. So yeah, there's an awful lot in this game that I'm really taken with. Wow, look at that. So these are fungus colonies that have sort of developed some sort of sentience and started exploring the galaxy. That is impressive. I don't know, I think we may go mammalian. This guy looks kind of cool. A lot of people playing as the Space Fox. Ooh, you're very regal looking. Will it be a space cat? Yeah, why not? Let's be a space cat. The name. What is this name? Oh yeah, this is our race. Okay, so we are going to be the Brown. The Browns? Browns, maybe. Brown. Yeah, Brown. So the species name, the plural, Browns. And the adjective will be Brownian, maybe? Brownian. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do us. Yeah, that's good. So nameless. Okay. You can kind of add this in. Will we add a ship prefix? Maybe the good ship or something. Yeah, let's just do that. TGA. The good ship. Oh wait. The good ship. Yeah, so this is basically going to the game does take place over a couple of 100 years. Maybe it could run for thousands of years. I'm not actually sure. I have, gotten through about 20 years of gameplay and like nobody has died of old age yet in my other playthrough, so yeah, I think considering you have a very large galaxy to conquer, even with warp drive, it's going to take you a couple of generations to get things done. So let's see, I'm just looking here to see if I kind of like the, let's see, mammalian. I do also want Jaljikan, Jalpintar, Jalcanisima. I do want things that I can kind of pronounce as well. This looks good. I like this. These names look interesting and unusual enough to me that I think I might go for them. Okay, so next. Yes, we're in next. So starting ruler, will we make him or her female? Or will we go male? Male or female? They both look identical. I think we'll go, just because I'm a guy, we'll go male for now. We'll probably end up with female at some point. It's not just that. Let's see, randomized name. Galdrig den Irdar. Yeah, I do need something. Yeah. Galdrig, this seems to be Galdrig den Vatrag. That sounds alien enough. And he does look like a Galdrig. So let's see color variants. Ooh, Snowcat. Maybe we will actually, because I'm planning on red cat, ginger cat. Oh, that could be kind of nice too. I think we're going to go for a Snowcat, and we're going to have to check some clothing. We do want these guys to be, yeah, somewhat regal or something. Although that armor, I am kind of going for sort of science guided, no religious kind of thing. A nice science guided type. Yeah, I'm just going to select the flag. A science guided type of race of people, well, not that they're people, space cats that are guided kind of by science rather than religion. Kind of more peaceful intent maybe than sort of a warlike thing, but we're not going to be stood on either. Oh wow, some of these symbols are incredibly nice. We'll go for something like that, or we'll go for something, oh, something ornate. Oh, that looks actually very nice. That kind of a shield almost. Yeah, I think we're going to go for that. What kind of color scheme do we want? Will we put something like this? No. Go like this. Oh yes, I like that quite a bit. The gold and black. Very regal, very nice. Yeah, I think we're going to take that. Oh, there's some zoological symbols here. Yeah, actually I like the ornate shield better. Okay, so we've got other things to name and class. Okay, so this is the type of planet we come from. I'm thinking of leaning towards that there are a lot, and basically starting off, as you would develop, you will be able to unlock terraforming technologies, which will enable you to sort of diversify and live on other world types. But for this playthrough, just because we have a white cat, I'm thinking with, you know, with nice thick fur, I'm thinking either tundra or Arctic, which basically means that the least favourable worlds are usually the ones opposite. So a tropical world will be very hard for a cat that evolved on an Arctic world I'm saying he's a cat, he's nothing to do with a cat, he's obviously what do they call that, convergent evolution. He has cat-like traits, but he is not a cat. It's like the goat and the octopus. Very interesting fact, if you want to impress someone with your nerdiness, is the convergent evolution of the eyes of both the octopus and the goat. Look up images on Google if you don't believe me, it's a real thing. So yeah, will we go for tundra? Cold and rocky with a nitrogen oxygen atmosphere. Permafrost covers most of the surface, except for the more temperate equatorial regions. A stable biosphere exists, but vegetation is mostly limited to mosses and lichens, or lichens as some people say. An Arctic world, frigid rocky world with a nitrogen and oxygen atmosphere. Both it could lead us to terraforming some of the planets that are further from stars. I don't know, is that the mechanic or not? You can have icy. I don't think you can have icy worlds in very close to the center of solar systems. I think we're just going to go Tundra. Okay, so our homeworld name. Should I be really predictable? I'm going to call the star Apollo. I was tempted to actually go for the humans, but as I say, I've played through that already, and I have a fair idea of what kind of spawns in the immediate area of the thing. I loaded it up twice, and it's kind of the same. So it does randomize the game every time, but I think, you know, maybe around the human system, they kind of have some of the stars, familiar names and that kind of thing, like Alpha Centauri and Sirius and that kind of thing, or Cirrus, and so yeah, I mean, I'd be at kind of an advantage, and maybe look like I actually know what I'm doing with this kind of thing. So homeworld name, we'll just call it Gaia. I know that's kind of technically the word for Earth, but it'll do us. And Apollo, starting solar system. Okay, yeah. So we can. We're just going to randomize our starting solar system. Tundra preference next. Now, city and appearance. So, I am actually very taken with these anthropod things. You can, each species basically has its own kind of building style. Like these are the molluscoids. They're obviously something to do with kind of a shellfish type animal or species. Reptilian. I really do kind of like the molluscoid things. They've got these, and everything's very gold. I think their starships are quite pretty. So I think I'm going to go for that. Now, government and ethics. This is where the fun really begins. So at the moment we can, so it's an indirect, you know, we've basically got democratic things over here and kind of something more along the lines of, I don't know, dictatorships to a degree over on this side as far as I can tell. Divine mandate, yeah. So these, and somewhere in the middle here is something of a middle ground. Now, I said we were going to be kind of, I was hoping to build us up as kind of some kind of a sort of an intelligent science-based species. So materialist is where, as we reach for the stars, we must put away childish things, gods, spirits, and other phantasms of the brain. Reality is cruel and unforgiving, yet we must steel ourselves and secure the survival of our race through unflinching pursuit of science and technology. And I think that's where I want to be. A fanatic materialist is a little bit more intense on this. So we've got 3 ethics. Okay, so we're going to take materialist first. So we've got 2 ethics points. Am I doing this correctly? I think I am, yeah. So we've got 2 of these left to choose. Traits, hold on. I've skipped over our traits, which will directly influence our government and ethics as well. So our names list, yeah, I did skip over our traits. That's what I was thinking of. So basically our population, our people have you know, specific traits that kind of govern. So like non-adaptive is a negative trait. Talented, so we've got a couple of trait points. I have a fair idea where I want to go with this. As I say, I want to be a science thing, so it would make sense for us to be somewhat intelligent. That's going to take 2 of our points and leave us with nothing. So we can pick 3, but we don't have any points to pick them with. These traits are weighted. So do we want to go for non? I think we are going to go for slow breeders, which is a negative thing, but it allows us to pick another thing. Do we want to be strong? Great physical strength. Well, he looks like a very strong creature, so we're going to take a strong as well. We can still pick another one if we get another. Well, actually, if we take another negative one, we can't actually, unless we. Well, there's no point in actually trying to pick another one. So intelligent and strong is about where we are. We can, of course, invite other species to live on our planets. It's something I did in my other playthrough. I'm basically allowing, I have a little trade agreement going with another species from another star system, and they have started to live on my planet, and I can move them around and put them to work. or at least they seem to go to work. I don't know if they're working for me or working for their own empire. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm sure I'll find out. So yeah, that's going to do me intelligent. That is something that's very important as far as I'm concerned. It's going to give us a little bit of a bonus with our physics, engineering, and society, which is, you know, I really want that. Slow breeders, yeah, it's going to slow down growth time. It's going to, you know, our civilizations are not going to grow as quickly and strong. That is our army damage, which is ground armies, I'm assuming, and we're going to also be able to get minerals a lot faster. Minerals and energy are the two things. Well, energy in particular is what I've been struggling with so far. So name and class of the solar system. Our ruler we have selected is male, Gladrig. Yes, excellent. Government and ethics. Okay, so we said science, for sure, the materialist trait. A collectivist society. Okay, so this is basically, and its opposite then is an individualist, which values the individual above and individual freedoms, whereas a collectivist is more, it actually says it right there, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Very Spock-like. And I think I want to go that way just to maybe help kind of keep some kind of, you can actually go extreme in this thing. It takes 2 points, I think, rather than, you know, you get ethics points. If you go here, it'll take 2 points. The other ones include a spiritualist, which I'm going to be staying away from. Again, it's the exact opposite of the science one. Pacifist and militarist. And we've got xenophile versus a xenophobe. I think we want to be a xenophile. That's kind of spent everything I've got. So we are materialist, which means we are more into the reality of things than religion. Xenophile, we do like other races. And a collectivist, so it's kind of a group mentality rather than, you know, the rights of the individual above all. Now this does change what we get. So obviously, because I think it's because of the collectivist trait. If we go for individualist, does it? Yeah, it's to do with the collectivist trait. I think we can actually change this window design. Can we? No. Okay. Government and ethics. Okay. So, yeah, this is kind of taking us away from these republics and democracies and that kind of thing, and skewing us more over towards this. So what have we got? Despotic empire. The government is relatively pure form of autocracy with an absolute ruler that governs the state with an iron gripping appendage. I like that, the way they used appendage rather than hand or fist. The government is plutocratic form of oligarchy. A lot of these political terms start to go over my head. Oh yeah, the person in wealth holds the power. I don't really like that. Science directorate. I am playing as this. Every 40 to 50 years we have an election. Each ruler can build an elite turns. Government is materialistic form of autocracy where citizens are viewed as little more than cogs in the state machinery. Efficiency and technological progress are valued above all things. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the science directorate, where the government is a materialistic form of oligarchy, where a committee of scientists supervise the government apparatus for maximum efficiency, which is probably the way we should be running our own planet, because politicians are just politicians. They are not experts at anything except winning popularity contests. Deep political views coming through here, and we're just supposed to be having a bit of fun playing a video game. Let's see, empire name. Brown sovereign colonies. Meh. Republican brown realms, no. Okay, I have decided on the interstellar brown technocracy, and the adjective Brownian, because that's what we're using for other things. So the Brownian Empire, or the Brownian Interstellar Brown Technocracy. Maybe it's the Brownian Technocracy, is it? Brownian, because it's a Brownian Technocracy. Yes, that'll do us. Onward, flag we have taken care of. Starting weapons. So we have mass drivers that use electromagnetic catapults to accelerate projectiles towards target at blinding speeds. While somewhat limited in range, their kinetic energy and high rate of fire chew through shields with ease. I think they're pretty short range, these things. You have to get in kind of far, from what I'm hearing from other people anyway. I have gone for missiles before. Energy weapons. These directed energy weapons will emit focused laser beams at their targets. They are effective at medium to close range, largely ignoring the bulk of enemy armor. Or we could go with missiles, which is what I went with before. Space-to-space missiles armed with nuclear warheads. Missiles have excellent range, but they are vulnerable to interception by point defense systems. So we could... I'm wondering, will I go for the laser energy weapons at this point? The red lasers. Medium to close range. I think we might go for the lasers this turn. Because I did go for these before. I've had a little bit of trouble losing ships and that kind of thing. But I'm assuming I would lose ships if I get embroiled in some sort of a little bit of a conflict anyway, which I'm going to try to avoid for a while. Well, energy weapons aren't beyond us because, of course, we have developed some sort of an FTL drive, which we get into here now. So there are three options from various sci-fi and actually semi-science. Wormholes are a thing. It's just you can't really get through them. In order to hold them open, you need something, a theoretical thing called negative energy. And if it exists, it is highly allergic to... matter, and it will pop like a bubble, or at least that's my understanding of it. But yeah, they are a thing. They fit into relatively quite nicely. Hyperspace, I have no idea. I think that's the most science fiction of them all. Warp travel, again, actually, theoretically at least, possible. And it does say this is advised for new players, and I've been using it, and I think I will go for it. Hyperspace, I think you have to follow certain paths, and with the wormhole travel, you actually have to build a sort of a wormhole generating gate if you're to get from place to place, whereas the warp drive is just a self-contained thing inside of a ship, and there is a bit of a cooldown on it when you warp into a system, but yeah, I think I'm just going to go for the warp drive because it's the simplest to get me going. Where's our ship style? Again, these anthropod. I think it was anthropod. Yeah, it was anthropod buildings I went for, not the molluscoid. So anthropod ships. They do look quite nice. The mammalian ones are very angular. The avian ones are quite cool looking. Alright, they're very swept looking and all sorts of nice. But I do like these bulky, sort of industrial looking ships. So I think I'm going to take that. And that concludes us. We are there. We have our little thing set up. I don't actually know how long I've been recording for at this point. We're going to get in. We're going to play a little bit. Anyway, the setup is yeah, so our basic thing, let's just have a quick look. So we are a science directorate, collectivist, which basically means the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Yet we are a xenophile, so we like other people and other races, and materialist, so we are very much not a religious kind of people, which will probably bring us into conflict with civilizations that believe in higher powers. So we are a highly intelligent, slow breeding, strong sort of species, adapted for tundra worlds. We use red lasers, we have warp travel, and we use anthropod style ships. So I'm just going to save this. Okay, actually, if we go back, just a quick thing. This adds the interstellar Brownian Technocracy here. What basically does it? I think it does. I think it's supposed to, at any rate, is allow you to if I was to say to play as the United Nations, there is a good chance that I would encounter the Brownians or the Browns in my randomly generated universe, which is kind of cool. I like the way that they put that in. But yeah, we're just going to play as these guys, and we are going to select them. Okay, galaxy size, medium, 600 stars. Will we go? I'm worried about pushing it up just because of my hardware. If anything starts to run a bit slow, it is probably more to do with the hardware than to do with the game itself. It does actually run quite well so far, and I've been kind of running with a 600, but I can imagine once I get stuff moving into a 600 star system that things are going to start to lag a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to stay with the 600 stars. I'm going to do a 2-arm spiral galaxy just because it kind of slows down your thing. AI Empire 17. Yeah, why not? Advanced AI stars. Yes. Basically, they have some sort of an advantage. There are these things called fallen empires. Their name is something a little bit deceptive, really, because fallen is not really the word. They've more become introverted and are not kind of interested in expanding anymore, and have kind of sealed themselves off from the lower forms of life that inhabit the galaxy. And you don't want to go messing with them. They are hundreds, if not thousands, of years ahead of you in technological terms, and they really they will destroy you. So we're not going to play with Iron Man. FTL method. So this, what you can do is you can force everyone to use wormholes or warp drives, or you can let anybody use anything, so that all three technologies exist in the game at once, which could lead to some very interesting combat situations where people are warping to other systems, and some are using hyperdrives, and because they do work differently, and some are faster than others, and some can kind of go ways that, say, a hyperdrive couldn't, because it has to follow a particular path through subspace. But yeah, anyway, I'm just going to allow that to be the way it is, and let's get in and start. So we're starting up a new game, and look at these visuals. They are absolutely incredible. It's like some kind of a combat fleet or something heading off into a worm, warping out to another star system. Yeah, I do love all this kind of thing, and wow, that is beautiful. Okay, so we're in. That was quick. That was incredibly quick. So yeah, this is... It looks like a mess, but it's actually... I'm going to just... oh, I can't click that. It's incredibly well laid out. It looks a bit of a mess, but it is absolutely brilliant. So very, 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 very intuitive or something. Anyway, okay, so in the eons since the first primitive brown communities took shape on the windy plains of Gaia, our civilization has spread and prospered. Through scientific progress, we have managed to stamp out the superstitions that ruled the minds of our ancestors. As reason and rational thought spread among our people, the intelligent nation-states that we had until then organized ourselves... the inefficient nation-states that we had until then organized themselves... we had organized ourselves into were disbanded, and a council of our most accomplished scientists was gathered to rule in their stead, which is, in some ways, not a bad idea, but scientists can be a little bit, and sometimes can be a little bit scientifically minded, whereas sometimes you do need social kind of people to govern socially and kind of deal with people. Although a lot of politicians, I really am giving an awful rap to politicians today, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's in my mind because our country has just gotten a government after not having one for several weeks, and surprise, surprise, the place didn't fall apart without them. So anyway, now after the successful creation of several experimental subspace fields, the finest minds of the interstellar Brownian Technocracy have finished development of the first warp drives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. Okay, so let's begin. So we are...
I am Veer, a prototype synthetic...
Okay, so this guy, I'm just going to show tips only. Okay.
I will provide tips.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, so that is an artificial intelligence that kind of... he's basically a tutorial that's going to help us work our way through the game, but I kind of know what I'm doing. At the beginning, barren worlds. So this is our home star system with our star Apollo here, which is, I think, a red dwarf or a red giant. Oh, it's a red dwarf, the most common star in the universe. Referred to as a red dwarf, their low luminosity means that they're difficult to observe with the naked eye from afar. Although they typically have extremely long lifespans, red dwarfs emit almost no UV light, resulting in unfavourable conditions for most forms of life, which actually makes sense for us living on a tundra/ice world. And here is our little plan. Let's actually get
This is our home world
okay.
and the capital of our empire, the planets.
Yeah, I'm just going to be kind of muting him a little bit. I'm going to leave him on as tips for the moment, just so that I can, if I run into something that I'm not sure of, he'll kind of prompt me in the right direction. So yeah, this is basically our planet. We're going to get in. Oh my goodness, he's really going to keep talking. Just going to quiet him a little. Yeah, okay. So that's him done with. I could turn him off, actually, to be honest. But just in case, so I'm going to just focus my view and get a look at our planet. And my good God, that is epic. It's rotating. I don't think they actually orbit the star, or they don't seem to move around the star, but my good God, that is very, 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 very pretty. Yeah. I love that. So first things first, we have got some research stuff up here that we need to take care of. Yeah, we'll probably start to look into some of these. I'm not an expert or anything on this. But we can also design our ships. Yes, okay. So we can kind of redesign our ships, as we actually have got some things in here. Oh, we can put a fission reactor in there. Small fission reactor. Okay, oh no, I'm not going to get caught up in that just now. We're starting off, so we need to select some topics of research. So, they're all different coloured cats. I thought they were all going to be snowy white cats. Okay, that's fine. So Biram Den Iridar is a physicist, and we can set a research topic for him. These are random. But they do kind of follow some sort of a weighted progression type thing. So a solar panel network. So these are basically basic physics projects that he is going to spend his time researching here on behalf of the Empire. Energy storage capacity. Unlocks building power hub. Fusion reactor. A component. Do we already have? Oh, we have a fission reactor, isn't it? Solar panel network. Advanced solar panels could potentially produce. Yes, I think we are. Orbital energy. Quantum theory physics lab. What's the bonus of doing this? Produces 2 physics. Okay, so it's going to produce some science and stuff for us. Energy storage capacity. I think I'm just going to go for the solar panel network for now, because as I say, energy does seem to be a bit of a problem early in the game. Well, for me it was anyway. So technologies. Oh no, this is our society thing, which kind of helps us with orbital hydroponic farms, a colony ship, propaganda broadcasts. I think we're going to go straight for the colony ship, which will allow us to start moving out and colonizing other parts of the galaxy. Engineering. I'm going to set up ion thrusters. Nanocomposite armor. Powered exoskeletons, which is going to help us get more army damage and minerals. What's this? Deep space outposts. Capable of constructing defensive deep space platforms far from the gravity wells of a planetary body. Ooh, I haven't seen this before. I do think we're going to go for the powered exoskeletons now. It's going to give us even more strength. So pretty much on the ground, I don't think we're going to be... if we do get into a conflict on the ground, which I haven't yet, it's mostly space combat, we're going to be pretty tough. It's also going to give us extra minerals which will be handy for building all the stuff we're going to be building. So that will do that. The game is actually paused at the moment. I can just set it to run at normal speed, or I can pause it. It's very handy when you have to stop and manage several things at once, because the galaxy is quite enormous. I think as you do conquer, it tells you here we've only got directly controlled planets, and when we get above 5, I think it starts dividing the galaxy into sectors. Oh yes, there's our ships. Strategic resources, we don't have anything. I haven't discovered anything like that yet. Okay, so let's just jump out and have a look at our galaxy. So there is Apollo, our star, and these are our local stars. Voon, and we have Hixaros, Unif, and Bazkarat. So yeah, the galaxy is pretty large. We have 600 stars in there. Fine for a video game. Doesn't actually even begin to, even 1,000 stars doesn't even begin to come close to the number of stars in an actual galaxy. But I mean, I am worried that my laptop is going to, and that's another thing about it. It does kind of reorientate your map, even if you kind of wiggle around. Because you can kind of get lost with strategy games like this. You know, Don't Starve was one of the ones. I suppose Don't Starve isn't a serious strategy game, but it is one of the games that I used to tend to get lost in if I turned my map. So that's kind of cool that you can kind of have a look around, but yet you can it'll automatically reorientate everything. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, the galaxies. The analogy is, I think, if you take a 50-meter swimming pool, fill it with beach sand. I think each grain is something like 1 millimeter across. You will probably have enough grains of sand in that swimming pool to account for all of the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So yeah, 1,000 stars, 600 stars, that's nothing compared to the scale of the galaxy, and it's mostly empty space. Which this galaxy is actually empty space as well. Yeah, enough rambling. Let's get ourselves underway. So we've got a construction ship.
This is our construction ship.
Okie doke. So this can basically build stuff for us. We've also got our science ship, which I'm going to start off doing something right now. We also have a little bit of an armada over there, military ships. Which one's our science ship? We go Q, it focuses your view. So this is our science exploration vessel. It may look pretty well armed and something. It's not to be treated like the Starship Enterprise by any means. It is a fairly defenseless piece of thing, and down here we can set certain things. We can survey our fleet stance. You want to keep it set to evasive. At least for now, I'm going to be keeping it set to evasive. We can set it to passive or evasive. These are civilian ships. We're going to keep it to evasive for now. Which basically means if it warps into a system with a large army looking at it, it's going to warp back out pretty quickly. But for now, I'm going to set this. I'm right clicking, so we've got a couple of options here. We can survey the star, or we can survey the entire system. We can enter orbit, so I'm going to survey the entire system here, and it's going to plot a path around the Apollo system, our home system. I'm kind of treating that as kind of a test of I don't know, the ship systems or something, before we try to warp out to another system. We've also got our military vessels. So let's just focus on them. So these are our little corvettes, our little very fast, very small, very light warships, armed with lovely little lasers that'll kind of give us some kind of a thing. We may actually start constructing another couple of these. So this is our construction ship. Actually, we don't build them with our construction ship. Our construction ship. This is our space station, science ship. Let's just do it this way. This panel, very, very useful when you're managing your fleet and it starts to grow a little bit. So this thing is basically used to build sort of mining outposts, observational things. You can find planets with kind of Steam Age, Bronze Age, Stone Age life, and basically observe them for a little while. We can build research stations for gathering science, mining stations, military stations, terraforming stations, which I haven't gotten to yet at all. The fleet stance, evasive, which is fair enough, and build frontier outposts. For the moment, I'm going to wait until I've done a scan, and then I'm probably going to set up some. We'll see. So I'm actually going to unpause it now because things are just going to move along a little bit faster, and we can see our science ship is heading out. Off it goes to do its little survey of the Apollo system. Yes, our station, which we can get to in here, our spaceport. Let's see. We can choose to build some things. Am I going to build another starship? I think I'm going to build a Corvette just to try and get my army. I'm going to build 2 of them actually, just to try and get my... No, I'm going to build 1. I need to get some resources together before I continue building. But it would help to have a little bit of a military fleet just to get us going. Okay, we're going to move time. We can accelerate time. You can just use the keyboard to do that. And you can see our little... science ship there. We're going to focus on it, and you can see him coming around to each planet in turn and doing. He can do this in all the systems, gathering up information about the habitability and whatnot about it. If we actually select the planet, so it's surveyed. I'm just going to select and go on to it. So it's a molten world, 0% habitability because it is a molten planet. It does have some resources that we can actually mine from orbit, which is what we're going to do now. We are going to select our construction ship. We're going to build a mining outpost, and it automatically sees that this is suitable for mining. What have we finished building? Oh yeah, we finished building a Corvette. Okay. So I'm going to select my construction ship. We're going to build a little mining outpost here, which is going to fill us up with some stuff. I'm just going to pause again. No, I'm going to play along. I will be playing a lot in pause when things start to get a bit hectic. So let's head down to the surface of Gaia and see what's happening. Because we need to get some energy and stuff. So what do we have here? We have a power plant. We can extract more energy from here. We have a power plant here as well, and our population is kind of growing a little bit. So just because I am worried about power,
may cause adjacency effects.
Okay, so yeah, oh yes, adjacency effect. So where is our capital? This must be our capital here. Planetary administration. So being close to the planetary administration gives things a little bit of a buff. So it does mean that when you're putting down your colony ships, we'll get to that again, but it does mean that when you're putting down your colony ships, you want to have as many kind of resources close by to it as possible so that you get the most out of it. Let me see now. I think I am going to put down another power plant just in here. And so this is going to give us 1 + 3 and 4 energy credits per, I think it's per month or something. Produces 3 with the power plant, and the actual area itself is it's going to give us 1. So I think we're going to get a total of 4 out of that. It does make sense to put things like that in there, as far as I know. And I'm talking as though I'm doing with this game when I really don't. How's our little survey going? That's going good.
We have found an anomaly. From time to time, our science ships will discover strange things while surveying worlds.
Yes.
These can be researched by scientists, but
okay, so yeah, we found what is called an anomaly. So during the survey of our home system, we found something on Dantagria that did not match earlier observations made from our homeworld. So we can research this. There is a failure risk, so it's 0% for this. It has no risk of failing. So we might as well just head in there and research that. And our science ship will take care of that for us. We're going to play again, and it's going to turn around. It will continue, I think, its survey once it's finished that little bit of research automatically. So as I said, there is a little bit of micromanagement, but it's not as intense as you think it would be. Everything's laid out very well in this game. So I'm just going to time is warping forward. is I would like to get to a sort of an interstellar a jump before we finish the game. So what's this? Our anomaly, yeah. So I'm just gonna read order finish. Has completed the Sulugaran. The good ship Sulugaran has completed construction of a mining station in orbit of Ferdera, which is brilliant. Fleet order finished. Okay, so we can just double click and zoom in on our... Oh yes, look at that. I love all the little animations and everything on this. Oh, look at that. That's our little mining ship, which is producing ores and such for our... Have we scanned the star yet? Okay, so we are actually pretty low on resources and stuff here. I would like to see some energy resources popping up. What? Oh, see, because the anomaly on Dantarigia turned out to be a natural geometric formation. It almost looks like a marker showing the way forward. The natural beauty of the universe can be quite astonishing. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies whenever we get the chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. Absolutely astonishing. What have we got here? Fleet order finished. That's excellent. Who's this and where is he going? Oh yes, this is our mining station. So there it is. It's pulling up resources from the planet. I don't think we can actually move it around or anything. No. You can disband it. I suppose that would destroy it when you're finished. But I think the resources, it kind of mines away. It is a planet after all, so I think it mines away for quite some time. What have we got here? This is our science ship, isn't it? It's still doing its little survey of all. Oh wow, this is quite a... So this is a... Oh, we can get energy out here. Oh no, that's not energy, that is engineering rather. So we've got a frozen world here. Yeah, that's different from our... it has no atmosphere, so it's just a frozen lump of rock. And a barren world, so these are... so the Apollo system has successfully been scanned. Okay, we're just going to get rid of that. And with that done, I think the... Why is my construction ship hiding away out there? I don't really know. So I think with that done...
Construction complete.
Okay, okay, so our little power plant. Okay, so we don't have people to run that, so I'm just going to pause the game. I'm going to head down to the surface of Gaia. So we need a population to run this. Let's see, can we take people from somewhere to run it? Not really. I may take... Actually, I'm going to repurpose them, move them from there, because there's 1 food versus 4 energy. We need the energy more than we need the food, because we're producing quite a bit of food on the surface of the planet as we speak. Let me see. We may take out some of these slums. I'm thinking we take out these slums if we can. Yeah, we can clear that. Another energy. We're going to clear those slums, and then we can build power plants in here as well, and hopefully generate some more energy, because I'm not seeing a hell of a lot of energy appearing in the home system, so we're going to have to kind of manage that a little bit. But anyway, we can jump to our science ship, and we're going to head out. We're going to head to Voon. So we're going to survey that system. We're going to hit the map key and head in, and we're going to select our ship, our little starship. What's it called? The Luran, or the Lurian. The good ship Lurian. Oh yes, we actually have to press play to allow something to happen. So it's got to make its way out beyond this dotted line to hit the warp drive. Oh, hold on, we're going to slow down time a little. That's looking a bit too fast. Oh, and there it goes. And it's gone. Poof, I missed it. Let's head over to the Lurian system and see if we can see this thing spawn in as it drops out of warp. can we? Is she coming? Oh, there she is. Has she warped in yet? Yep, there we go. She's warped in. I don't know why I call it ship's G. So that's going to pretty much do the same thing it did back on our own system. So actually, just as it comes in, we can kind of get. So we've got a barren world here. Voom 5 is another frozen world. I don't think this has an atmosphere. No, temperature is very thin atmosphere. It could be suitable for terraforming somewhat. A leader has gained a level. Our scientist, Jurgum Dan Hulus, is busy commanding the good ship Lurian. Let's see, not surveyed gas giant. Another red dwarf star. A lot of star types are. Encounter the Hixaros. We have encountered some form of alien vessel in the Hixaros system. These strange objects have been flagged as alpha aliens. Until we can learn more about them, we should proceed with caution. Interesting, very interesting. The interstellar Brownian Technocracy has finally encountered fellow wanderers among the stars. Despite their intentions being unknown and potentially even hostile, the atmosphere in Gaia following the report from our contract fleet can best be described as rapturous. Okay, so that should give us something up here. Contacts, planets, where are we? The situation log. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a moment again. Investigate the alpha aliens. So basically when we discover them, we head into our little situation log thing, which is over here, and it gives us an option to carry out some research, which is going to take about 180 days, and we're going to basically observe these things Star Trek style and find out what it is that they are and what they do and what their intentions may be, because as far as we are aware, there are a lot of species out here. We could be sitting right on the doorstep of an enormous galactic empire. Or we might just be the only person in the neighborhood. But it is highly unlikely. We definitely border some other civilizations. Whether they're as technologically advanced as we are, or less so, or more so, remains to be seen. But they are definitely out there. We are not alone in the universe, and that has been confirmed now. So yes, I think actually that this might be a good time to end the episode. It's probably a little bit of a slow episode starting out, but hopefully things will start to pick up a little bit of speed as the game goes along. I'm just going to jump back to Apollo here. Yeah, so back to our home system. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'm really enjoying playing this. As I say, first episode, bound to be a little bit slow, but it really does take off as things move on. So yes, you have been watching Bloomer Brown on YouTube, and I will see you next time.